What are some of the best ways to pull strings to supersize and grow your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Your Business. And our idiom today, which we've talked about before, is pulling strings. I don't have a puppet, but that's where this particular idiom came from. In the 1800s, puppets and puppeteers were pretty popular, and they would go around doing their puppet shows. And in order to make the puppets move and have action in their puppet theater shows, they would pull the strings of the puppets. Most of us at some time in our life have either in a movie or personally experienced a puppet show or seen a puppet show. Maybe not so much anymore, but think of the Muppets. The entire Muppet Show is all puppets for the most part performing, and there are people operating and pulling strings. Not so much with the Muppets, they didn't have strings, but they were definitely people operating those puppets. So what does it mean? To pull strings, I was looking for a persuasion or an arguing related idiom to go along with the paradox today, which is for our annual challenge, the BU 365-day challenge. We do one thing every day that improves us, and we're spending a few weeks on paradoxes. And a paradox, like an idiom, it means something different than it actually says. And actually, paradoxes sound absurd when you first hear them, and you're like, no, that's not true, that's absurd. It seems like there's conflicts or there's misinformation in a paradox. Yet the more you think about it, the more you have an aha epiphany and realize that, oh my gosh, this might be true for me. And our paradox today was the one that talks about arguing with other people, and the more we try to argue with somebody, the less likely we are to convince them of our perspective, the less likely we are to persuade them, especially because a lot of times arguing digresses or goes down into name calling, accusing, making assumptions, and all things that aren't great for persuading people to our perspective or our point of view. So to go along with that, I thought about different idioms, like there's a lot of them. Pull strings is the one I selected, but like there's a whole bunch of idioms about persuasion. And even though we've talked about this one before, I think we've probably talked about over the last couple of years all of the others that were mentioned as well. So what does this have to do with growing and building and supersizing our business? And how can we use it? Means to control someone or something in a manner or in a certain way, usually for our favor, but often secretly. So there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes where people and different parties are pulling strings that we know nothing about. And so that would be an example of pulling strings. But how can we use this to build and grow and supersize our business in an ethical, moral way, of course, because we're here to make the world a better place, building our businesses, not to make it worse. Well, we can use influence and influencers and people that are setting a good example. We can model their behavior, but we can use influence and our influence to grow and build and supersize our business, right? By showing up, by being consistent, by setting the example, by being good leaders, by being kind, by treating people the way we want and expect to be treated, things like that. We can pull strings by cultivating the right relationships, right? Getting to know the right people, using our Dream 100 or whatever you happen to call it, but basically getting to know, partnering with, and meeting and coming together of different parties and building relationships. We've got to have relationships with our customers. We have to have relationships with our vendors. We have to have relationships with the people that we interact with every day, the people on our teams, building our businesses, etc. And then the other way that I think is terrific to pull strings is focus on a couple of things. One, personal development, but also continuous improvement for yourself and everyone else in the organization that you're creating on the planet, right? Our customers, we should be wanting to improve their lives and positively impact them in some way with our products and services, which is contributing to their personal development, right? Making their lives better, making the world a better place. But that begins at home, right? With us becoming a continually improving version, better version of ourselves, and showing up, learning and growing, and being the best possible example and leader we can in our organization is one of the best ways to pull strings to grow and build and supersize our business. So love to know your experience with this particular idiom and expression. Most of the time I've heard this particular idiom and have probably used it in a negative and a derogatory way, right? Well, they're just pulling strings, meaning they're doing something that's secret that other people don't know about. And I kind of wanted to flip that around today, change my perspective about it, and find ways that I can use it positively to grow and build and supersize my business. Challenge you to do the same. Have an awesome day. If I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom related to our paradox for the annual challenge. Have a great day.